so welcome to this masterclass, minor conversion free masterclass that I've made for you inside of this community that I hope you find a lot of value in. And you know what? I'm not going to yap more. I'm not going to talk so much more. Let's just dive into this stuff. Minor conversion masterclass. Learn how to simplify jazz improvisation. All right. Here is what we're going to cover in this masterclass. I'm just going to quickly go over my jazz guitar journey from where I was to today. I'm going to talk about Pat Martino and his book Linear Expressions that influenced me, and that is literally the thing that minor conversion revolves around. All right. So Pat Martino came up with this thing called minor conversion, or maybe he wasn't the inventor of it, but he started talking about it a lot in his book. So we're going to talk about that. Really exciting stuff. It opened up the fretboard, made improvisation easy, in my opinion. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what minor conversion actually is and why it works. We're going to talk about the 4 formations. We're going to talk about GuitArmin Premium. All right? So with no further ado, let's just dive in. So that's me to the left, all right, in this picture. That is me to the left, and to the right is one of my best friends. And I was young here. I was like 15, I think. And I was playing a Stratocaster. I was playing a lot of blues, funky stuff. So that was what my world revolved around more. So I was like playing a lot of John Mayer stuff, Steve Ray Vaughan stuff. I was into Jimi Hendrix. Like I was that kind of guitar player, you know? So that was what I did. And then I didn't know anything about jazz. I don't have like jazz people in my family or like musicians in the family whatsoever, actually. So I kind of all found this stuff by myself. Okay. So that's what I did. And so I started with that. And then after a while, I started becoming interested in jazz guitar. And I wanted to get more out of my guitar because quite frankly, I couldn't sing. And all those guys like Steve Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix, John Mayer, they all sang. And when I realized, wait, I don't want to sing, I realized I want to sing with my guitar. And so maybe I should pursue jazz. So I started getting into jazz stuff. I started doing all different, trying to get into it, trying to go to jam sessions, but without playing, but just listening. And I realized, damn, I fell in love with that stuff. Like, wow, jazz guitar. I was probably a jazz musician in my previous life, I thought then, because I just resonated with it without having like any influence from anywhere. I just resonated with it a lot. But then I just kind of, tried to practice and didn't go that well because I didn't know what resources I should go to. It was a lot of information on the internet, on YouTube. Everybody talked about learning scales and all different stuff. And my brain can't really take in stuff. Like I get overwhelmed easily. So just this random day I was going with the train somewhere, I found this on YouTube, somebody that transcribed something from this book, Linear Expressions. And that was the beginning of something big because then I actually realized, wow, that sounds like jazz. I want to learn that. So I went and learned it, and it changed my life forever. It got me into the top prestigious jazz schools because I just started learning language through that and just made everything easier, right? So it made me pursue jazz, which then now I'm working with it full time. So it's quite cool. It was all dependent on one book, But now you might ask, but how does that make jazz, like, how does that make jazz improv easier? Like, how does that book make jazz improvisation easier? All right, let me tell you. So the 4 formations, as you can see in this PDF, you also get this PDF down below in a like attached PDF. The 4 formations, so it's 4 formations. Starts on G minor, B flat, D, and F. So basically, it's all in G minor 7. You play the chord tones of a G minor 7, right? 1, 2, 1, 3, 5, 7. So, but you play them 1, 3, 5, 7, so all over the neck, and you kind of map out the whole fretboard just using those minor formations. And imagine you do them in all keys, and then you're converting stuff to minor. You realize, wow, I can just use these formations and I can play over anything, basically. So that's basically why. So the 4 formations simplify jazz improvisation because they map out the entire fretboard. And that is one of the core principles here. Why you feel like you're playing boring stuff or why you actually don't know what to play is because you haven't mapped out the entire fretboard. You're just playing stuff which are comfortable and probably in like one position that you're comfortable in. But that won't really get you to that point where you want to be, because you want to be at the point where you're totally free on the neck. So they make you sound like a jazz professional in an instant. And this is something that's, I mean, it's a great thing, because instead of you trying to, usually we learn scales and we try to make stuff with that. Right? You do some exercises and then you kind of like have to make those exercises. So you have to go so many steps to make it into music. Like you have to go so many steps before you actually sound good with it in a real life situation when you practice scales. In this case, you just sound like a professional in an instant. You don't have to learn the scales and then try to do like you don't have to do like exercises like that anymore. You can just kind of do this. Sounds more like jazz, right? And there was stuff that I just added to it, but that's the point. You want to add stuff to it, and I'm going to show you exactly how you do that too. So they work like scales, but are more musical. You can play them up and down, which is exactly why they are the best thing ever. Because even if you're like, you don't know what to play, you have these formations, you can play them up and down. And usually what happens, if I don't know what to play today, even like I gig 2 times a week, Wednesdays and Thursdays, even at those gigs, like sometimes you don't know what to play. And sometimes you just want to have the formation and then, oh, wow, now I know what to play. Like starting up the formation, and then that kind of inspires you to do something else, which is also one of the greatest benefits of learning these formations. You only need these 4 to play like the greats. And I mean, that's why I have citation marks between only, because the fact is, of course you need more. Of course you need to practice. You have to put in the hours, and you have to learn jazz language. You can't just rely on these formations. But in reality, like if you just learn these and you put them in all keys and you just start adding some vocabulary to them, you will sound like a professional, because literally that is how I sound. And I think I sound like a professional. At least I work as a professional jazz musician. So it works basically. And in the next lesson, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through each formation. All right. So literally stay tuned for that. And I'm just gonna say one more thing: is you can get GuitArmin Premium, which is the premium school community. You can get it down below. You can check it out, see if it's for you. It has some exclusive courses only for members there, so more courses. And it's gonna basically, the whole thing is we're gonna transform your playing in 90 days, and you have all the resources to do that. You have Q&A sessions. I have Zoom calls, like weekly Zoom calls. I do private lessons. We have so much there, and you get also like personalized feedback and all that. You get that in GuitArmin Premium. You can get that down below. So see you soon. Welcome to video number 2 in this masterclass. Right now we're going to go through the formation. So with no further ado, let's just dive right in. All right. Formation number 1 is the one we start with here, okay? It looks like this, okay? So take it in and see what it is. If you can read, I don't know, just look at it. It's in the key of G minor. And let me make myself a little bigger here and make it so that you can see me without that page going in and out. I'm sorry about that. All right. So you have the formation number 1 starts on this G, right? And what it is it looks like you're going up a scale, but instead of going, which you usually do, you do this, which is so cool because that's like, it's chromatic and it's also an enclosure, like encloses the 5th of G. Sorry. Right? So this is formation number 1, and it's a great asset to have in your library of stuff to play. Because, like, literally just look at the first chunk. Like, it's so cool, and it's so, like, just, it's a great thing to have. That's over a C7, right? You can play this, it's a G minor, but you can play it over so many different chords, which is what we're gonna get into later, but it's like the minor conversion thing is... what's cool also is you go up this thing, and then kind of looks like a scale, but not really, and then you go up this, so it's like... kind of like a Dorian, but then here you get the major 7 too, which is cool. So you kind of have Dorian and melodic minor in one formation. And then what happens here is it goes... Okay, what's that? That is a major 7 arpeggio or major 9 arpeggio. I mean minor 9 arpeggio. It's also a major 7 arpeggio, like a B flat major 7 arpeggio. But in this case, you can call it a G minor 9. G minor 9 arpeggio, right? So the thing is, this formation goes up like almost like a scale. And then it does that arpeggio thing, which is really cool. So in one formation, you get, not only do you get like great notes that sound jazzy and bebop, you get like you get like a lot of stuff in one go. You know, you get the kind of line form, like 8-note thing, and then you get this kind of like just this arpeggio ingrained in it all, which is so good. And then you get that chromatic thing. I will talk later how you can apply that to 251, so stay tuned for that video, which will be here in this free masterclass. All right. So this is a great asset for you to have in your arsenal, in your lick library, or like whenever you kind of have to play whatever it is. This works over so many different chords. G minor. It works over B flat major. It works over a F major. It works over a C7. So C7, so basically it works over many different chords, many different occasions. Also different thing, like it works really good over an E minor 7 flat 5. So minor 7 flat 5 chords are now easy because you can just play this. So that's basically it, right? You know these, and this is just the first one, okay? Imagine you learn this, you learn it in every key, and now you can play over like basically all standards. So let's go to the next one. Formation number 2 starts from the third of G, G minor, so it's a B flat, all right, a minor third. So we started from, that's where the first one started, and the next one, B flat, okay? So we go. Amazing things. I love this one. So it goes. Sound like Pat Martino in an instant, right? So it starts with you approaching that third through like this thing. So that is literally a B flat major 7 arpeggio, right? B flat major 7 arpeggio. So that's how the second formation, number 2, how that starts. It starts with a B flat major 7 arpeggio, which shows you can play a B flat major 7 arpeggio perfectly well over a G minor 9, a G minor 7. So it goes up like that, and then it goes do 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 do. So do 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 do. So you get those chromatic notes, and then you go do 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 do. So it's really cool. It's really cool when you're gonna play fast. You can start from here. You can start from. So I recommend you to really get these down and just practice them. Okay, just use them as the thing you do when you. So they're like great out of the box, right? So just use them, transpose them, understand it, play it slow, use the PDF too as provided, and just try to play it in your pace, get it down, because this one will benefit you tremendously. Okay, so you had that G minor 7, you started in the third, now you have a phrase here, you have a phrase here, which also just shows that you've already unlocked like this part of the fretboard and this part of the fretboard. So that's pretty damn cool, right? You've unlocked to like quite much of the guitar just by 2 formations. So let's go to the third one. Number 3 starts on the root, on the D, which will be the root. I play it here, and it starts like almost starts like a D major scale. But what it is, it's using melodic minor to kind of start up, right? On that major 7 of the G, right? So we go. So that's a great thing. Sounds like this in speed. Right? Kind of goes to the note there, but it's super nice. It's a real cool thing because you get that melodic minor sound, and also it goes like, and then it goes this enclosing thing, right? It's like a good ending thing. Like you can use it like a lick that ends something. So you see how it's like a conversation? How it actually sounds like it's language, right? That's what it is. This is how jazz language manifests because it's like get that motif, and motif sounds really good. Sound really good. So so you do do, 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 and then you do this enclosing to the third of G. And then you do this thing, which is this chromatic thing, right? 9, third, 9. You get this chromatic flat 9. And then you go root 7. If we were just talking about G minor, 7, 6. God, what note is that? Fifths, of course. Right? 6, 5. Just sorry. 11. Third. That's how it goes, by the way. 7, 6, 5, 11, third, 9. So cool. Yeah, you're gonna have so much fun with this, okay? Because now, imagine what you have now. You have this one. You have, and I'm not saying you should learn this in one go. Like, oh my god, you're gonna get so good because you just learned this. It's gonna take some time of just learning this. But you literally imagine you just have to put time into learning these formations. You don't have to do so much more. At least right now, just focus on getting these down, and you'll be golden. All right. So, yeah, I'm excited for you. Let's go to the next one. Formation number 4 starts on the 7th of G, which is F. But we're not going to play it here. We're actually going to go up, play it here. You can play it here. But it's like, it's a lot of open strings. I just prefer it to be on this F right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. You're going. Remember how we did here? But now we're doing it here. It's the same. You kind of playing the same thing. Just it's enclosing the third here. Here it encloses the 1. So you kind of get an idea of how jazz sounds like because there's a lot of enclosures, right? It's a lot of that. Do do. It's a lot of do do bo bo da di do. It's a lot of enclosing, like up and down. It goes different directions, but it's always going somewhere, right? That's the home, right? And then what it does after, it goes. So basically, it's a lot of chromaticism here, which is really cool. Sounds pretty damn good. Sounds like Pat Martino. And so it does this thing, and then it goes, which we saw before. This is in this octave, and then it goes, and then it goes. Right? So you can just practice it like this, right? can get it up to speed and then do it in different keys, and you're golden. Okay? So see what I did there? I added some stuff, right? And that becomes easy once you learn these formations, just straight eighth notes, and then you start adding stuff to them, right? It's like you become just lick machine by not even being a machine. You're just using this system, and yeah. So now you kind of have all these formations down, right? Maybe you don't have them down, but you got to practice them. And what I encourage you to do is to take them through the keys, because that will help you in everything. Because if you want to unlock the fretboard, you got to do them in all keys. So you got to do G minor. Just take a random key. Maybe you do, let's do D minor, and then try to do it from the lowest possible note, which will be the F, right? And that will be the second formation from D, right? Because here's the first formation, and then F. So you have to orientate, right? You have to go through the keys, learn them in all keys, and once you have them in all keys, you realize, oh, it's just like this. The fretboard is just will be open for everything, right? Even wherever you are, you will be able to play whatever. If you're in A flat minor, you have formation number 3 here, and then you it will get visual, right? Formation number 2, formation number 1, and then and so it's great. Okay, it is great. It will give you everything you need to be able to improvise. And what we're going to do in the next video, stay tuned. I'm revealing how you use this stuff over 251s. So I'll see you in a bit. Hi, and welcome to video number 3. Now we're going to apply all these formations that we talked about to 251s. This is like the thing that will revolutionize jazz guitar for you. Why? Because, well, jazz guitar consists of a lot of 251s in about every standard, I think. Like, not every, but you know, it's a lot of 251s. And so we're going to talk about how to do that with these formations. And let's start with what to do in order. Play the 4 formations up and down over a 251 backing track. So that's what I want you to do. And what I want you to also do is to experiment with where you start and end in the beat. To experiment with where you start and end in the beat. That is so crucial, because that will make you not just go to the same old stuff and not just train your brain into thinking that you have to do something in a certain way, because you don't want to do that, because then you will just always be addicted almost to playing it a certain way, starting on the same note, starting on the same beat. You don't want to do that. You want to free yourself because you want to improvise. So you got to practice on where you start and end in the beat, okay? We're going to talk about chord tone identification. So basically landing on a chord tone. And what that means is we're going to talk about how to actually land on, we're going to talk about F major, right? So that's chord tone identification. That's me landing on a major 7 in F, because I know that the landing is F major with the 5th. I land and I take a pause. I land on the chord tone, I take a pause, and I'll be like, that's how we do it. That is for your ears to start, your ears will start getting used to how it sounds like, how it's supposed to sound like when you're like landing on a chord tone and getting that. Because the chord tone, if you're just doing the formations without landing on a chord tone, then you would just sound like somebody that doesn't know what he's doing or she's doing. But what you want to do is you want to have the like very, very concise, and you want to be very intentional with where you land. You want to be, it's right there, you know? that will make it so much easier for the audience and for yourself, and like it will just be more fun because you're making music that sounds good. So we're gonna talk about chord tones a lot, and we're gonna also I'm gonna demonstrate, of course. I'm gonna demonstrate how it sounds like, and I'm gonna give you a challenge too. So stay tuned. Okay, so let's do it from the top. Play the formations up and down over a 2-5-1 backing track. So what we're gonna do is, so we're gonna do it over a 2-5-1 and F, right? Right, we got that. You wanna try? Let's try the first one. Let's go. Okay, now my turn. All right, so that's just an example of how you can practice these over a 2-5-1. You see, you got all these. Right? So I kind of added some different stuff, which you can do too, because I know you know some more stuff. So you could just mix these up with one another. And that was just an example playing it over with the first formation, right? 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Major 7. I landed on the major 7 there, right? So it's important for you to kind of know major 7, 5th, 3rd, root, major 7, 5th, open A, or here 3rd. Because then you can kind of always go towards a chord tone. So if I'm just gonna go to the 3rd, I can do. I was going there. I just made up my mind. I'm gonna go to the 3rd. That's what I did, and it sounds pretty good. Now I'm gonna make up my mind and go to the 9. That's a phrase that actually is something that you will hear a lot when you start listening more to jazz. If you listen to Donna Lee, you kind of know this thing. All right, so there are a lot of stuff you can do when you learn the chord tones. So learn the 4 chord tones and play the 4 formations up and down over the 2-5-1 backing track. You got. Right? You have all the chord tones hiding here, right? In the formations. So you gotta use the formations, identify the chord tones, and play them up and down over a 2-5-1 backing track. Okay? Do that. And after, as I said, experiment with where you start and end in the beat. That is so crucial too, because as I said before, you just don't want to be that person who just plays everything at the same beat. Everything sounds very predictable and all that, because you want to improvise, and improvisation comes from a place of like being able to just do stuff intuitively, and hopefully it sounds good too. And how you get it to sound good is you practice, and so this is what you can practice. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was starting on the 1, right? 1, 2. Or you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Right? 1, 2, 3. Right? 3 and 1, 1, 2, 3. So it's like, it depends on how you want to do it, right? You can just experiment with doing it in different. Start in the next chord. 1, 2, 3. Like on the 3. 1, 2. And then what happens is you will, in order for you to like complete the line, you got to land on a chord tone, and then you will just make it so that you land on a chord tone, and that's how you create your own 2-5-1 licks. These aren't phrases that I've stolen. These are just a product of using the formations, but also like stuff that I've heard. So it's like, but the formations and the language are kind of intertwined in that sense. So yeah. So experiment with where you start and end of the beat, and you will be very thankful that you did. So start doing that over backing tracks. That's the best thing that I have to tell you right now. Chord tone identification. This is also something that I need you to practice. It's to get like those real crispy 2-5-1s. You want to have like, Misty starts like this, right? It starts on the 5th, starts on the 3rd, or like it continues with the 3rd, goes to the major 7. But that's how you should think. It's try to get that down. Okay, Misty, it's 5th, it's 3rd, it's major 7. 5th, 3rd, major 7. So when you hear something on the recording that goes like stuff like that, it's chord tones. So train yourself to start, right? Right? You want to kind of, what's this note? It's the 5th. So always, I had a student that talked a lot about chord names. Like he was like, oh, but that's a C and that's an E flat, which is great to know like what the notes are, but start thinking about what it is. Like, is it a 3rd? Like, what number is it? Start training your brain to think about the number. Even when you're playing the formation up and down, let's do G minor. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4, sharp 4, 5, 7, 5, 6, 7, 1. So start doing that. Start identifying the numbers, because then you will think in the right way, like think like a jazz musician. Because what that does is you can transpose it to every key, because you're thinking numbers. You're not thinking individual notes, right? And when you think numbers, it just makes everything so much easier, and you'll realize that, wow, it's just 5th, 3rd, 7th, 5th. It's like, it just makes it all so much easier. So start thinking about numbers and start identifying the chord tones, and then go after them. So start like maybe you can use the 5th, and you make your line so it lands on the 5th. Really cool thing that I just did there, and it's just me thinking about, okay, the 5th. How about landing on the major 7? So I'm doing the same phrase, just landing on a different chord tone. And this is formation number 3, right? From the D. I'm borrowing this, but I'm starting here. Okay, so let's land on the sharp 11, just for fun. You can do that thing. So it's like, you have so many options, and it's not that hard, okay? I promise you. Once you get past this chord tone thing, you add some vocabulary and the formations to that, you'll be golden. All right, so I've kind of demonstrated, but what you can do is you can just 1, 2. Formation up and down, landing on a chord tone and making it intentional. So that was my way of doing it. How about you? My challenge to you is to do this, create your own line by just thinking, okay, I want to land on the 9, maybe you say. And then just play the formation, whichever one, and then aim for the 9. See what you come up with. That is my challenge to you. And this is the stuff that, like, the more advanced you get, you will start using this in more advanced situation, and you will sound really good doing it too. Like, landing on the 9. So I was aiming for the 9 still, but it doesn't matter what I did before. It's like, okay, I did all that before, but the destination is still the same. Doesn't matter if I did, or if I did all this. Doesn't matter. What matters is how I landed. So be mindful of that. Okay, that is what I have to say in this video. And in the next video, we're actually going to apply this over a well-known standard. So you do not want to miss that. See you in the next one. Welcome to video number 4. We're going to apply all this stuff that we talked about to a standard, which will be, well, it's a great thing to be able to do that, basically, because you're going to play a lot of standards. And you might be thinking, okay, cool, but how do I convert to minor over standard? I got you, my friend. We're going to take this standard. You probably heard it before. It's called Take the A Train. Right? Long time I played it. Okay, so basically what it is, it starts in a C major, C6 actually. We can fix C major 7 too, but it's the C6, and then it goes to D7, sharp 11, D minor, G7, C, and then it has a bridge that goes F major for 4 bars, D7, D minor, G7, C, and that's basically all the chords that is. So let's take the first part. We're going to talk about the C7. I mean, not the C7, the C major 6, C major 7, whatever, to that D7. And I'm going to ask you which formation is applicable here. So if you're wondering, how do I take a major chord and make it minor? Okay, great question. So well, the easiest way is to just go to the relative minor. And if you know basic music theory, you will probably know that a C major 7, the minor equivalent to C major will be an A minor. So what that does is you can just use A minor. All those A minor, like minor formations, you can use A minor. Okay? Or you can use the second one, which probably fits very well over this tune. And you can use the third one, starting from the E. Or the last one, which is from the, let's see, we are here. So you have all these formations, you can play them over. So this is the formation number 4 in A, right? So we start on the 7, the last note. 7, 7. So A minor formation works over both chords. So D7 is the same thing. You just play A minor. Okay? This means you can play formation 1 to 4 in A minor over both chords. Ba, be, ba, ba, be, ba. That part, you can play the same thing. You don't have to switch anything. Ba. Right? Ba. So it's like they are the same scale, you can almost call it, and you just gotta be careful with some notes when you play the C7. You might not just want to play the sharp 11 like it's the end of the world. Like, just use that as a passing tone, okay, and all that. So do that and play over the D7. You play the same thing. So that just makes it so much easier. You just play A minor formations over both these chords. So demonstration, as I did. Da, bo, do, All right, that's a demonstration enough, right? So, D minor. So that's the next thing that happens. So practice this slowly. I know I'm demonstrating it quite quick, but that's because we're doing a masterclass and I want everybody to be. I need it to be kind of like leveled out, you know. So, but practice it slowly. It's important for you to get it down. Don't stress. Use the backing track or use iReel because then you can just loop like a C to a D7 and try the A minor thing. It will probably sound really good, and you save yourself a lot of time practicing a bunch of dominant 7 sharp 11 scales and stuff. So do that, and good luck, basically. And basically, after that, we have the D minor 7 G7. So over the D minor G7, which is a 2-5, D minor G7, 2-5. Over the 2, we're going to play minor from the 2, right? So you're going to play D minor formations over the whole D minor, which doesn't come as a surprise. It's a D minor, you're going to play D minor. Over the G7, you're going to keep playing the D minor because the G7 and the D minor are related. That's why it's a 2-5-1. It's in one key, which is C. So the D minor and the G are basically, you can call them the same chord. Like, it's the same thing. So you just keep playing the D minor. So what you do then is you learn since you've practiced the formations, I hope, in all keys, or you are going to do that. Then you realize that, okay, it's a D minor, so I'm going to play D minor formations. Then the lowest one is the second formation. So basically, when it goes to D minor, you can use the map it all out. So this is the third one, as we've mentioned before, and this is transposed to D minor, just to be clear. So basically, what you do then is just do, bo, be, bo, be, bo, A minor, D minor, D minor, D minor, D minor, C, or A minor. So it's like you're only using A minor and D minor this far. And that is the core. That is the most important thing when you're playing over this, okay? So you want to play, you played A minor over C major 7, D7, and now when it's changed to D minor, you can just play D minor for a while because it's going 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And over all that, all those chords, even the 2 last bars there, you just play D minor, and then when it lands on the C and starts over, then you can kind of, okay, C major, chord tone, A minor formations. Does that make sense? So formations, D minor, and yeah, D minor basically. So D minor formation over the 2-5, and then A minor when it goes to the 1. So basically what I said is, as I said, when it starts over, you can play C major. So far, we're only using 2 formations to solo over 75% of the tune, which is awesome. It's amazing. It's a great thing because you're not getting that overwhelmed, which is exactly what we want. Because when you get overwhelmed less, that means you can focus more on the music and expressing yourself, which is what we want. So great demonstration, already demonstrated, but let me do this one. And then we can do. What was the number 3? Went quite a quick. I couldn't even play that. Just using. Could do so many different things. But that's just an example of what you can do. Using the formations over the thing. So practice this too over a backing track and you'll be golden. Next part, F major 7. for 4 bars. And then D7 for 2 bars. You have D minor, 1 bar, G7 to C major. So let me ask you, what formation can you use over, well, the whole thing? Think about that. What can you do over an F major? So how do we get to the relative minor of F? You probably got it, right? D minor. And then we have D7. Remember what to play over D7? That's right. We're going to play A minor. So we got D minor, we got A minor, and then we got D minor again over D minor 7 and G7. So F major equals D minor, D7 equals A minor, D minor slash or 2 G7, 2 5 is a D minor. Total, you got D minor and A minor. Great. So that's basically how to solo over all of Take the A Train. And it's a total of 2 formations, literally, in the whole tune. This is why it's so great to know minor conversion and why it's so great for you to learn all of this, because literally it's so underwhelming to only play 2 formations over the whole thing. Like, you're just playing 2 formations and you're sounding real, real good too. So that's it. A minor and D minor formations over the whole thing. It simplifies and gives you space to be creative. Think about that. It gives you space to be creative, which is the number one problem that we face as jazz musicians. We don't have the space to be creative because there are a lot of stuff happening, a lot of chords going by. We have teachers telling you to solo over every chord, which just ruins people's creativity and make people sound like, no offense, but like really bad. And it's not their fault. It's not like, I was there too. A lot of people have been there, but then the ones who actually realize and start playing good is because they realize they can play multiple stuff over multiple chords, or I mean the same stuff over multiple chords. And yeah, that's it. Minor Conversion Academy. It's actually called GuitArmin Premium, but I wasn't sure of the name before. But yeah, GuitArmin Premium. If you want my personal help, you want like Q&As, you have a community of like-minded musicians. You want to learn from like 7 courses and improve your, like, transform your playing in 90 days. Sounds pretty good, right? You can get that down below. Join it. See more. You can read about it more if you want. But you get it down below. All right? In next video, I'm going to help you make minor conversion your default, because that's what we want to do. We want to make it your default so you don't have to think. All right, good job. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. How do I think about this on the fly? All right, that is a good question. That's what this video is all about. Video number 5, how to make minor conversion your default. Okay, this is how you're going to do it, your default. Basically, how you can do it so that's the only thing that happens in your mind. You have to analyze 4 bars per day of a tune. Random tune from real book is fine. What I mean with that is you're going to actually take up a tune, as we did before in the video with Take the A Train. You're going to do that same thing. You're going to practice that by yourself, 4 bars a day from a tune that you like. Maybe it's a tune you already know. It doesn't have to be a tune you don't know. You can take a tune you already know to start, and then you just take the first 4 chords, look at them, and be interested in how you can play minor over it. How can you play the minor formations over it? All right? You use your knowledge that you've learned and see how you can play minor over it. So if it's a C, like if it's a, you just have to learn how to think, right? So it's, what it is if you have like an A minor, then you basically know you play A minor over it. Nothing new. If it's a D7, you're gonna play A minor. So what that does is, okay, if I have an F sharp 7, you go up a 5th, and that's gonna be your minor. So when you have a dominant chord, just go up a fifth, a normal like Mixolydian dominant chord, basically in a 2-5-1. The 5 will be the minor that you think about like this, right? So you go up a fifth. That's going to be your minor, all right? And then when you have a major 7 chord, you go to the relative minor, which is usually a minor third, or usually it's always a minor third down. So E major 7 becomes E major 7 because C sharp minor 7, and then you just play the C sharp minor 7 in all positions which you've practiced because you've learned the formations in all keys. And so you analyze 4 bars a day of a tune. You can, I mean, if you're in the community, you can take help from people. You can also make friends in this free community where you talk about this stuff, or you can make posts. If there's a chord you don't know, you just make a post and be like, how do I convert to minor over this? And we'll help you. But literally just try to do this a little every day. It's much better to be consistent with this stuff than to try to think like, oh, I'm going to do 12 hours a day or 6 hours a day. It's not going to work. Just do 4 bars a day. And even if you don't even have time for 4 bars, just do 1 bar a day. All right. Just do this as a habit to always convert to minor, and it will become your default. And now when it's your default, then you don't have to think anymore. It's just ingrained in how you play. So you convert the chords to its minor formation, and you play the formation 1 to 4 up and down over those chords slowly. So imagine you have There Will Never Be Another You. So it goes ba boo boo ba ba boo ba boo bing boom boom boom. So that's the first 4 chords. So what I see is it's an E flat major 7. Starts on that, right? I go down a minor third to C minor, and that's gonna be my minor formation. Ba ba ba. Over D minor 7, that's gonna be D minor 7 flat 5. That's gonna be an F minor 6, right? So when you have a minor 7 flat 5, you go up a minor third. And that's how you know how to play over it. And then when it's a minor 7 flat 5, you just go to a minor third up and play minor from there. And this is the third formation from F. So boom 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 boom. It goes to C minor, and then I play C minor over that. So that's just an example. Do that and do it slowly. Play the formations up and down over those chords, and do it in all positions. So if you have that C minor, do it there, do it here, do it here. Just do it in all those positions and do them slowly so you really ingrain them in your mind. That is exactly how you do it, okay? And once you get comfortable, you ramp up the tempo and then you repeat, okay? So the most important part is you realize this is a daily activity that you have to do every day to make it your default. Because you're not going to just get good at this from watching one video. You got to put in the work. And that is why we in the community will help you with that. So if you're in GuitArmin Premium, that's literally what it is about. We will hold you accountable for making your habit every day of practicing, so making it come true, right? So that's also something that's really important. Have someone that can hold yourself accountable. Maybe you and your friend. Even if you're in the free community, you can maybe find somebody that can keep you accountable for practicing those 4 bars a day, or if it's 5 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day, whatever you guys come up with. And then now you kind of have somebody, an accountability buddy that you can kind of practice with, which is really cool. So yeah, that's how I think you should make it your default. Do this every time you're practicing improvisation, okay? And oh, sorry, the keynote just disappeared as it has been doing. Let's see. No, not Skype. Keynote. Okay. Do this every time you're practicing improvisation, and you should be good. Okay. So every time you're practicing improvisation, since you're playing over chords, you can always use this concept and just convert to minor, convert to minor. You're seeing a chord chart, automatically like toggle on that minor conversion brain and start doing that. And that, after a while, you will just see that, wow, you don't even have to do that anymore. It just becomes easier every time. So do that. And as I said before, join Minor Conversion Academy or GuitArmin Premium for personalized feedback. We will help you succeed. And we've already helped hundreds of players succeed, so, and make their playing sound really good and less anxious about their playing, which they've been before. And yeah, you can check that out if you're interested. And this is kind of what you get inside. I'm not going to talk more about it because I've talked about it a while, but if you're interested, it already had 10-hour course material on there on minor conversion, practice routine, how to play diminished, jazz standard analysis, jazz language, comping, and much more to come. So literally just adding stuff as we go along in that community. As I said, personalized feedback, weekly Q&As, we will help you succeed here, okay? There's no like fluff about that, okay? And if you sign up for the annual one, the annual, you will get private sessions too. So you don't want to miss that, and do it before the price increase. And I'll see you then. Or maybe you just want to stay in the free community, which is fine. Then I'll see you in there too. So take care of yourself, and I guess that's it, right? That was it. Thank you so much for watching this whole thing. It was so freaking fun to do all this stuff. Hope you got value out of this. And if you're here for the first time, or if you like just joined this community and you saw this course, just post in the community and make friends. Like literally just post in the community, ask your questions here. You can DM so many, like everybody you can DM. You can make friends, like-minded friends that want to get better at guitar. I just don't see, like, I just see so much in the future for this community. So I really hope you enjoy it, and take care of yourself and have fun. Bye bye.